You want me to put that on my todger?
Harry's wife. All about Lillibet. Things aren't going too well for Harry's wife. The dimwits in court, well, when he bothers to turn up. Wah didn't cover either of them in glory, despite it having her sticky fingerprints all over. She was lampooned earlier by South Park. She's desperate to hang out with celebrities, but they don't want to bother with her. She's faced further incidents of purchasing awards and then doling out banal, beige, catatonic, state-inducing nonsense and word salad. And, of course, to top it all, there was the complete farce of a car chase, which was torn apart by fact-checkers, shafted by other people who were able to give evidence of what went on, and made her seem like the history-revising liar that everybody knows her to be. Of course, such is her need for prominence and the assertion of control and the drawing of fuel, those supine PR publications have to earn their dollars. And this time it falls to people.com, whereby the extension of Harry's wife, her daughter, is put forward as a means to try and draw people's approval, admiration, and sympathy. The article by Audrey Schmidt tells us, Princess Lillibet of Sussex, all about Prince Harry and Harry's wife's daughter. Is this going to be an article which says she doesn't really exist? The gardener's daughter is a stand-in, as people have suggested is the case. Or is it going to explain, although it's their daughter, she was born of a surrogate, as many other people believe that is the case? Well, there's only one way to find out, and I should imagine that you doubt very much, given that it's coming from people.com, that it will be the two former suggestions. Prince Harry and Harry's wife are enjoying life as a family of four. Oh dear. Already out of the gate, that's not the case. He's not enjoying life. He keeps running away and hiding in his San Vicente bungalow. After welcoming their son Archie Harrison IV in May 2019, the couple welcomed their second child, daughter Lillibet Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor, age 1, on the 4th of June 2021 in Santa Barbara, California. She was 1, at least when this article was written. On Valentine's Day 2021, bringing up the past, the couple announced they were expecting their second child and later revealed the baby's sex during a tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey after stepping back as working members of the British royal family. This must be the 757,000th time that we've been told this information. To have a boy, then a girl, what more can you ask for? Harry said. He also shared that their daughter would complete their family. 2 is it. The birth of Lillibet came after Harry's wife penned an essay for the New York Times, revealing she suffered a miscarriage, or, according to some, a mythcarriage, in between pregnancies. Once again, of course, oversharing information about her personal life because she lacks boundary recognition and doesn't see that behaving in such a manner is problematic. Once again, we have this piece of nonsense. After changing Archie's diaper, I felt a sharp cramp. I dropped to the floor with him in my arms, humming a lullaby to keep us both calm. The cheerful tune a stark contrast to my sense that something was not right. She wrote in the 2020 piece, I knew as I clutched my firstborn child that I was losing my second. Pausing there. First of all, that's a piece of fiction. However, Harry's wife believed that it happened that way. Why? Because she believes that she's in a film of her life. I've told you before that she has an imaginary soundtrack covering everything that she does. Harry's wife opens the fridge. She takes out the milk. Harry's wife hears the doorbell. Who could it be? Could it be the head of Disney saying, come back and do a voiceover for us? She is the Duchess of Beige. Mundane and bromidic, but nevertheless, she believes that she's fascinating. She believes that she is a pioneer and interesting and unique, and that there is this imaginary soundtrack to everything that she does. So that for many women, and it's far more common than people realise, for many women who have a miscarriage, they experience some pain. But the last thing they do is think, I know, I'll hum a lullaby, and then think to myself, I'm clutching my firstborn child, but I'm losing my second. Instead, they're probably gripped with panic, calling out perhaps for their partner. It might be that they're frightened. They could be distressed, particularly if they'd not yet had any children and they had been struggling to have one. What they don't do is put it to some imaginary film in which they're starring, main character syndrome, of course, which is actually just another description for the way that a narcissist would behave, and they certainly don't then pen a piece later on describing it in such flowery terms. But a narcissist such as Harry's wife does so. It then tells us that after their loss, Harry's wife became pregnant with Lily later that year, and the couple have since settled into life with 2 little ones. On a November 2022 episode of her Arsey Wipes podcast, Harry's wife said that she's in the thick of it, toddling. Despite the demands of parenthood, which is as demanding as it can get with a several-person staff, Prince Harry told Today host Hoda Kotb while promoting the Invictus Games in 2022 that he's greatly enjoying fatherhood. I love it, I love every part of it, I've always wanted to be a dad, he said. I've always wanted to have my own kids, and now I've got 2 little people who I'm responsible for. Lily is the youngest grandchild of King Charles. Even though Harry and Harry's wife have a strained relationship with the royal family, they hope their children will have a close connection with them. Well, they're doing a lot to facilitate that, aren't they? I've said before that I've wanted a family, not an institution. So, of course, I would love nothing more than for our children to have a relationship with members of my family, and they do with some, which brings me great joy, Harry said in a 2023 People cover story. Not sure who it is they have the relationship with. Perhaps they're referencing Eugenie. But then the article tells us, here's everything to know about Prince Harry and Harry's wife's daughter, Lillibet Diana. I'm not going to read you the entirety of the article as it goes on and on and on. Instead, I'm going to give you the headline or subheading pieces that it refers to. She was born on June the 4th, 2021 in Santa Barbara. Wow. Fascinating information. We didn't know that. She is named after Queen Elizabeth and Princess Diana. Again, fascinating information. We had never been told that before. She is a princess. Is she now? Again, that information hadn't been conveyed to us. She is the first grandchild of King Charles and the first great-grandchild of Queen Elizabeth to be born in America. Well, who'd have thought it? We never realised that was the case. She is 7th in line to the throne. Is she? We didn't realise that was the case. There isn't any information about who's in the line of succession. Her godfather is Tyler Perry. She was christened in March 2023. She has red hair, like her father and brother. She is featured in her mum's debut children's book. Harry's wife has a family heirloom to pass down to Lily. Harry says she is very chilled. She celebrated her first birthday on royal grounds. She started walking shortly after her first birthday. She is learning to use her voice. She got to meet her namesake, Queen Elizabeth, before the monarch's death in 2022. And there you are, telling you things that you already knew. But this is the desperation of Harry's wife once again, bringing up the past and, of course, living through the child. The child is but an extension of her. The child is an object that's there to be used subconsciously by her narcissism to get to the prime aims. She doesn't think about the needs of the child, although she believes that she does. Her narcissism directs her to put herself first, and if that means facilitating use of the child to get to what she needs, then that is what will happen. This information about her doesn't need to be repeatedly shared, but Harry's wife ensures that it does happen so that she continues to be spoken about. that she then manages that facade of being a wonderful mother because she believes that she is. That she ensures that the PR puff pieces basically tell us something about a 2-year-old girl who hasn't achieved anything and is just somebody's child. It doesn't need repeated reference. Do you ensure that some form of national publication pumps out information about your children? No, you don't, because you don't have a need for people to know. Admittedly, there's going to be a greater level of interest because of Harry being royal and Harry's wife somehow clambering onto the world stage through infamy. But, nevertheless, the child just happens to have the title princess, despite having nothing to do with the royal family and living in the United States. It's not her fault, of course. But Harry's wife doesn't have any concern for putting all of this information out there and keep regurgitating it. Again, for somebody that bleats so often about privacy, she's quite happy to compromise that of her daughter, so long as, of course, she can merch it, use it to control other people and draw fuel. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.